The name Alaska comes from the Aleut word Alyeska, which means great land. Alaska, the 49th state, is by far the biggest state in our country. Comprised of 663,000 square miles with 6,640 miles of coastline, it dwarfs every other state in our country. Alaska was bought by the U.S. from Russia in 1867 by William Seward, who was then Secretary of State under President Johnson, for $7.2 million, which averages out to 2 cents per acre. Critics called this purchase foolish and gave the name Seward's Folly, but Seward knew what he was doing, as Alaska has some of the world's greatest natural riches. Not only is Alaska geographically unique, it is also unique in how it has awarded its Aboriginal population their land rights. The indigenous people of Alaska have subsisted in all parts of Alaska, even the most inhospitable areas, for about 8,000 years, according to the most recent archaeological data. They were hunter-gatherers, but also established a rich cultural heritage. Native Alaskans, like most Aboriginal tribes, did not have a system of private land ownership, but traveled with the season, following the migratory patterns upon the game upon which they subsisted. Alaska became a state in 1959. Upon achieving statehood, the traditional United States judicial system collided with the traditional Native system of tribal councils, where decisions were made by consensus. At the moment of statehood, the federal government owned over half of the land in Alaska. Under the Alaska Statehood Act, the state was permitted to choose 100 million acres of public land, and it also conferred the right to Alaska Natives, Eskimos, or Aleuts to their traditional property. Tension developed between the state, who naturally selected lands that were prime hunting and fishing areas, and the tribes, who felt they had pre-existing rights to this land. Two proposed federal projects heightened this tension: the Rampart Dam on the Yukon River, which would have created the lake a size of Lake Erie, flooding many native villages, and the Chariot Project, in which the creation of a boat harbor was to be achieved by detonating 5 atomic bombs. The Alaska Federation of Natives, AFN, was formed in 1966 to establish a united Native front against these projects and other attempts by the state and federal government to abrogate Native land rights. In response to this conflict, Secretary of Interior Stuart Udall imposed a moratorium on federal patents or any state land selections in Alaska until Native land claims could be reconciled. All of a sudden, the discovery of oil at Prudhoe Bay and a 9.2 earthquake in 1964 piqued America's interest in Alaska. It was soon revealed that Alaska Natives had the poorest living conditions in the country. Because of the dual strengths of a unified Native voice under the AFN and public awareness and sympathy for Alaska Natives' political situation, the stage was set for a generous settlement favoring Alaska Natives. The Alaska Native Claims Settlement Act, ANSCA, a revolutionary piece of legislation, was passed in 1971 by President Nixon. Under this act, Alaska Natives received 44 million acres of land and were paid $963 million for the abrogation of their original claims. Instead of developing reservations, this act divided Native land holdings among 13 regional corporations that still exist today. These are Aetna Incorporated, the Aleut Corporation, the Arctic Slope Regional Corporation, the Bering Straits Native Corporation, the Bristol Bay Native Corporation, the Callisto Corporation, the Chugiak Alaska Corporation, the Cook Inlet Region, the Doyon Limited, and the Konyak Incorporated, the Nana Regional Corporation, the Sea Alaska Corporation, and the 13th Regional Corporation. By the formation of these corporations, ANSCA essentially forced Alaska Natives to enter the established American economy. These corporations needed to be able to make a profit. Because of this, ANSCA was criticized by some Native groups by being too heavy-handed and culturally insensitive. However, considering the abysmal treatment of Native Americans previously in the United States, ANSCA was breathtakingly generous and innovative regarding the rights and privileges it conferred to Alaska Natives. They were given lands not only rich in game, ensuring their ability to continue their subsistence lifestyle, but they also had complete access to the valuable oil deposits and minerals that lay beneath their lands. Native land rights in Alaska are still evolving. Developed in an entirely different way than native land rights did in the continental U.S., Alaskan Natives have more control over their land rights than any Native Americans probably ever will have in the continental United States. However, even though Alaskan Natives have worked hard to obtain fair land rights, the rapid changes in today's society, like increased air travel, the power of media, and the general trend toward globalization, are all proving more of a challenge and are causing the behavior and cultural norms of Alaskan Natives to shift rapidly as well. But Alaskan Natives are a tough, self-sufficient people used to adaptation. They have seized the reins that control their destiny and are learning how to ride.